Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pillow Talk with Toni-Marie. Thank you for coming back. If you've already been here and you've already subscribed, if you are a new viewer, welcome. Hopefully you stay a while. Hopefully you'll click like and subscribe and share if you feel necessary. But thank you. Thank you for joining me. So today's segment of pillow. Let me just give you a quick, since a lot of you are just popping on and seeing my video run across YouTube world and like, okay, what is this even about? So let me just give you a little tidbit on what Pillow Talk with Toni-Marie is about and what my intentions are for this channel. There are so many channels out there in YouTube world. There are so many YouTubers, for whatever fancy you have, it's there, it's out there. YouTube is search, you'll find it. But I just wanted to do something a little different for me, for my channel. And as some of you may have already read in the bio, I can give you a little bit of history on how I thought of the name Pillow Talk with Toni-Marie. I actually had done a radio blog podcast maybe 15 years ago. And we probably ran it for maybe 3 years, and it really was something, and it really was starting to take off. But it was myself, a friend at the time, and one of my sisters. And so, as the years went by, everybody just kind of separated and did their own things, had their own lives and whatever. But ever since then, I have had the urge and the desire to get back into podcasting, even though this is not, a podcast, this is YouTube. I do also plan on starting that route as well. But it has always, been a thing for me to have the desire to help other people, and that sounds so corny, but when you go through stuff in your life, you know what I'm saying, and you process it in the right way, or even if you don't process it the way that other people would expect you to. I don't know if anybody else feels this way, that just have made it so far in their life where they've experienced so many disappointments, so many heartbreaks and letdowns and, heartaches, to where it helped. It grew you instead of, causing you to be self-destructive for the rest of your life. So with me, I don't know, I've always internalized a lot of things. I've always thought, my thoughts, I don't know if it's because I'm a Gemini or what, but my mind just runs. It just runs. It replays things. If I did it this way, it thinks far down the road, it's planning this, it's doing, there's so much that can go on in one person's mind all day. And so I grew up in a home where, it was a very strict Christian home, and it was basically do as I say and not as I do. We grew up in that era where your parents are, kids are to be seen and not heard, basically. And so when you grow up that way, I hear my kittens somewhere. you tend to become mute and silenced. And then in your silence, you, you know, you just internalize a lot of things on a deep, 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 deep level that eventually you just want to get that stuff out. And it's a lonely, painful way to grow up, to where you can't express how you feel. You can't express anger, or you can't express being sad because you looked at it as too soft. I know a lot of young men have grown up that way, to where they could not express feelings or emotions. So I don't know, something about that had clicked in me, that I always felt when I got older and I became a parent of my, and had my own children, that I would raise them differently. And which is what I have done, very different from the way that I was brought up. And I began to teach them that it's okay for them to have a voice, in a respectful way, of course. So, anyway, I'm trying to bring it to how Pillow Talk became Pillow Talk. Just like going to therapy, or just like talking it out, period, to somebody can sometimes get a bad taste, a bad stigma about it. And so is when you think about Pillow Talk. As it says on my bio, basically. Pillow Talk, anytime you heard somebody use that term, oh, they pillow talking or whatever, it was in a negative way. So we look at pillow talking as you laying up pillow talking and, gossiping basically, and just telling people's business. And I don't know, I just look at it as the opposite, as it's something that's actually needed. A lot of healing and a lot of anxiety and unnecessary drama and misconceived thoughts and assumptions can be cleared up if we just pillow talk, if we just talk about it and get it out. Relationships with your spouse, with your kids, it doesn't matter. Even if you just talking in prayer to whoever you believe in and meditating, it's, to me, a form of pillow talk, and it's necessary. So with that said, that's the point of this channel here on YouTube. That's the point of Pillow Talk with Toni-Marie. It's basically a platform for us to release, to relax, and to be able to rest, not tossing and turning and staying up all night, just going around and around and around in your mind. So tonight, I wanted to pillow talk about something, and this is just off the top of my head. Like, anything that I bring to this channel and bring to you guys is something that either I've experienced, or it's something that a close friend of mine, or just being a spectator, experience. So, and when I say it, a lot of you that are watching may have probably most likely would experienced it too. You'll relate. So, although this can be towards guys as well as women as well as men, I think my target viewer tonight is women, because I'm relatable to women. We kind of respond in a lot of like ways. So, but however, men, if you're a gentleman who's come across this channel and this resonates with you as well, and you can relate, by all means, stay a while and take it in and take from it whatever is beneficial for you as well. Okay, so I was at work today and I listened to, I keep my little ear pods in my ear and I listen to different podcasts and I listen to different channels and YouTubers. And like I said, my mind is always going. Even at work, you know, I'm thinking about other things that don't have nothing to do with work. So I was just thinking, I was listening to this one YouTuber and she was talking about, basically, this is about a relationship, basically. And, well, I guess, is it a relationship? But she was talking about how, basically, how I want to say it. I always like to, if I'm going to quote somebody, I like to quote them right, but I'll have to give my own interpretation. It was in regards to a female or somebody letting go of someone or a relationship that basically doesn't serve her highest good. And so it got me to thinking about myself, because again, it was relatable to me. And it's not always sometimes it's a coincidence and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's meant for you to hear and see. Just like this video. Maybe something you're thinking about, dealing with, and need to see came across your path for a reason. So I'm trying to get vulnerable and as open without being too personal. But anyway, so it got me to thinking about, I've been single going on 9 years. I've been divorced going on 9 years, put it that way. And also single. I've not been in a committed relationship. However, I have, what do you want to call it, dealt with someone, person's friends with benefits for at least 7 years apiece. Only two people. I'm single, remember. And so I say how long because this is what's relevant. When you start out in situations like that, you start out, okay, most often than not, if you're not looking for a relationship at the time, it was it was something that attracted you to them, whether it was how they look, the smile, personality, or you just was looking for a somebody to roll in the hay with. I mean, just keep it real. We're grown, and you get to dealing with that person, and you decide, okay, you like what you see, you like what you experience, and whatever. So you want to keep experiencing that, and there's those rules when it comes to those type of situations and friends with benefits. You're not supposed to catch feelings, right? But a year roll by, 2 years roll by, 3 years roll by, 4, 5. During that time and somewhere along that timeline, one or the other or both have most likely caught feelings. And possibly would want to, start entertaining the thought of having something else with them. Something deeper, something more, stable, more consistent. And that don't happen. It just doesn't. And as women, us as women, we tend, when we fall in love, or we think we've fallen in love, we tend to make our world revolve around that person. We, even though we're not in a committed relationship with them, the loyalty is like top tier, like you are Mrs. Him yourself. The loyalty, um, I've even gone as far as not allowing myself to be sexually active with other people, you know. And that's not to say that's not bad. I mean, because you don't have to sleep with everybody that you come across. You don't have to do all that. If one person's, and that's basically how I preferred it. One person, consistent, I'm cool. We good. But as women, we just tend to give 1,000% of us, like without even question. Not even if we're getting it back. You know, we're giving. We're doing girlfriend things, wife things, and not just you spending your money, not just those type of things, but giving so much of your mental space, your emotions, so much of your time, even if you're not with that person at that moment. That person has your mental space, like every nook, every crevice, every corner, every crease is spent, filled up with that person in mind. And at this point, some of that stuff can really become obsessive and toxic. And it's like 7 years, 8 years, 5 years is a long time for anybody to dedicate their life to somebody. And I don't want to say like as if they're a bad person, but to dedicate your every fiber and singlehood with somebody who does not want what you want. You're not on the same page. And the signs be so clear, ladies. The signs be so clear, but we like to rationalize everything that a man says to us. We like to second guess it and reinterpret what he says. And it is what it is. Yes, there are some guys who lie, but you know, I think every woman has some sort of spiritual gift, like intuition, that they know in their gut whether they're being taken for a ride or not. And it's just, and you just don't feel good. You don't feel good with them, and you don't feel good without them. But reality is, you have to let go. You got to. I remember somebody asking me, because I was like, well, I'm going to just walk away and from this one person, and I'm going to just, you know, remain friends. And the person that who don't know this, she doesn't know him at all. They don't know each other. She don't even live here. The person I was talking to, she was like, why do you feel like you need to be a friend? Can you call on that person if you needed something? If you needed a place to stay, could you move in with them? If you needed a bill paid, could you ask them to pay a bill for you and expect, could he pick up your kids? Like, she was like, where has he even shown you a real, that you can depend on him even as a friend? And I was like, the truth of the matter is, I didn't have an answer for her because I didn't know. I wasn't 100% sure. But you know, you know, So you can fool and lie to yourself. I mean, lie to other people, but you can't lie to yourself. The point of wanting to even remain friends is just holding on to that glimpse of, well, maybe things will change. Maybe he will start doing differently. Maybe, you know, he'll, at least start taking me out and things like that. But if I cut him off all the way, then it's like you're missing out on something. But what are you missing out on? Everything's been the same year after year. You've gotten no further. So you're not missing out. What you're missing out of is the chance to be with somebody that is wanting to give you what you're ready for. You're blocking that. And the other reality of it that smacked me in the face, I'll be turning 45 years old this year. And I have children, like I stated. I have a son and I have 3 girls. I'm also a grandmother. And like I said, my kids and I raised them to know that they could talk to me about anything. And we talk about any and everything. They can come to me about whatever. So I raised them to come to me because who better to be a therapist for your child than a parent that loves them and uses their experience with wisdom as nuggets, as a real inheritance to pass down. So they come to me, from time to time about their experiences and heartaches and stuff, and needing advice about their relationships. And of course, as parents, your kids gonna run into them knuckleheads or those little silly girls who break their hearts. It's just inevitable. Everybody's got to go through it. You went through it. And so, but when you have to watch your child, my 3 oldest are in their 20s. When you have to watch your child continue to bump their heads and stick by somebody's side that clearly is not the best for them, you watch them be hurt and come crying and be done one minute, next minute they're back together. It just hurts you. It tears you apart. I wish she finally get it. Remember, I'm single. Remember the situation I'm telling you about, the guy it's 2 friends that I have to move on from. I wasn't even thinking about it. One day I was kind of like going, my kids and I were having kind of an intense fellowship about some stuff, and I don't know, sometimes they feel like I do too much, and I don't, like, I hurt their feelings by some things I say. So I had made the statement saying that if you only knew, I bite my tongue. I don't say everything that I want to say because I'm trying to spare your feelings. So in that instant, my son had said something to me that, like, shut my mouth. Seriously. And he was like, Mama, you don't think that we don't bite our tongue and don't say everything that we want to say? Do you think we like you still dealing with guys that ain't doing nothing for you, that's using you and hurting you? Do you think we like to see that and you keep going back to them? It was like a slap of reality. Like it hit me dead in my chest to hear my son say that, and to not only hear, but to see the look on his face and see the hurt in his eyes and his desire to want better for his own mother. That, ladies, I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Your child giving you a dose of reality, because here I am trying to be an example to my girls and to my son and tell them what they should, but yet still I'm doing the same thing that I'm wishing that they didn't do. And I don't know what I thought that I would think that they wouldn't notice. You think you hiding something from your kids because they don't see him come in the door? They don't see him leave? You think you think your kids are dumb and they don't realize what y'all actually up to? I laugh because the same son, I would kept telling him, oh, he's just a friend, he's just a friend, he's just a friend. And one day I had called him over after the kids were gone for the weekend, and he was supposed to be gone over his friend's house. So I didn't like to bring guys over around my kids. It ain't on that level. I can't trust you yet. I'm not. So I would wait until they're either at school or it was their dad's weekend to have them. So the girls, I want to say, were probably over their dads, but he was old enough to be able to do his own thing. He was supposed to be at a friend's. So, unbeknownst to me, he pops up. You know, my friend's over, we're in my bedroom. He pops up. My door is not closed all the way because nobody's supposed to be there but me and him. So he has to come in through the back because of the house at that time that we lived in. My bedroom was far on the other end of the house away from the front door, and it was locked. And kids, they lose their keys all the time. Anyway, so he had to come to the back to get in because I didn't hear him knocking at the door, ringing the doorbell. So he walks past my room and the door is kind of cracked open, and I'm laying in the bed with my friend. And all I see is him storm past, and I heard the front door slam. So I'm like, oh my goodness, why is he even here? He's not even supposed to be here. But he ended up storming out and walked all the way up to the school somewhere. I don't know. He just burnt out. He was really upset with me. And so when he finally came home, when I finally found him and he came home, we had a talk about it. And I asked him, I said, why would you get mad that I don't understand why that made you so angry? And so I said, I'm sorry you had to see that, but I don't understand why it made you as angry as it made you. And he was like, you said he was a friend. Basically, he's like, why lie about it if it's something other than what you're saying? So it was just, the kids notice. They're not stupid. They know what's going on. They know when you hurt. They know when you're happy. They know when you're sad, and they know who's causing it. So if not just for yourself, you walking away, do it for your kids, for your girls, for your son. As much as I know that it's easier said than done, it has to be done. It just has, and I know it hurts even thinking about it, probably even saying it. You couldn't imagine just not having this person in your life anymore or on that level anymore. It's a very hurtful, it's very painful thing. But how many years are you gonna keep lying to yourself, waiting? And then they don't even have the audacity to ask you to wait. You're just expected to wait, and you do it whether you're expected to or not. We can't put this off on guys. like they made us. No, we have a choice. We have a choice. We have a decision. And it's a decision that you have to make. All that love, all that effort that you're putting into this gentleman, put it back in you and make the choice. This is not the last person on the earth, you know. And I truly believe, and I know, that once you clear out your clutter, you make room for what is good for you, you know. It's hard. I know it because I got to do it myself. But I'm ready, y'all. Like I said, I'll be 45 years old in June. And I'm just, I don't want to spend the rest of my years playing games when I know what I want is not what I'm getting. You know, I don't want to sell myself short for that. You know, and I can't blame him. I don't blame him if he ever come across this video. Please know that I'm not blaming you or making you out to be a bad guy. We have had these conversations many a times, and I understand where he's coming from, but we're just not on the same page. We don't want the same thing from each other. And so, you know, you just got to do what you got to do. So tonight was about that, ladies. And the men that can relate. You just got to get that stuff out. Even if you have to cry your ugly cry, and just keep reminding yourself, find somebody that you trust that can hold you accountable to the decisions that you make and the things that you decide to do. Find you somebody that whenever you go to call, or if they let them know, hey, I need your help, I'm getting weak, I feel like I want to answer the phone, I feel like I want to reach out, help me, you know, and pick somebody that you know is going to hold you accountable, not just tell you what you want to hear, but give you some of that tough love and remind you why you're doing this and why it's what's best for you. And two, if you pray, ask for help. Ask for, if you believe in God, ask for God to help you. If you believe in spirit, the angels, whatever you believe in, ask for that help during that weak moment. Eventually, it's not going to be hard to do. Eventually, it's going to be done, you know. So, I love you all. Like I said, it was just a spare of the moment thing, decision and topic. Oh shoot, I didn't even show my nightcap. Y'all supposed to bring, if you come back, and I hope you do, if you click like and share and subscribe, make sure that when you come sit to view one of the pillow talks, bring your nightcap, right? So tonight, this is a little bit, I didn't want to do too much, but this is like a small little bit of tequila and margarita mix. That's all. So, anybody else got any ideas for good drinks, let us know in the comment section. I would like to try it, because somewhere I think I'm this mobile mixologist. But as I said, thank you for joining. Thank you for sitting. Thank you for pillow talking with your girl, Toni-Marie. I hope that you're feeling lighter. I hope that you'll find the strength to make the best decision for you, to love on you more, and just move forward with your life. So, thank you again for joining. Have a good evening. Have a good night.